4 stages in develop.
या पेज 249 चैप्टर 17 चल रहा है ना 16 सॉरी पुरुषोत्तम योग का हार्दिक
16.
डिवाइन एंड
हाँ.
डेमोनिक क्वालिटीज पैरा 8 4 stages in the development of नॉन वायलेंस ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा ना अहिंसा के
फर्स्ट यम
हाँ
फर्स्ट.
वही अहिंसा के 4 चरण हाउ डज इट डेवलप तो अपना वीसीटी के लिए अच्छा मटेरियल रहेगा चलो पढ़ते हैं वैसे भी उन्होंने पहले भी कहा ना कि जो 26 क्वालिटीज हैं उसमें से 24 आर ऑल जस्ट वराइटीज ऑफ नॉन वायलेंस एंड समथिंग एल्स एंड आई थिंक अनट्रुथ और बाकी की जो
यहाँ
दो
पे
है
लिखा हुआ है.
हाँ वो फर्स्ट है फियरलेसनेस और लास्ट है ह्यूमिलिटी यानी कि ऑलरेडी 24 टाइप्स ऑफ नॉन वायलेंस एंड अनट्रुथ है ट्रुथ एंड कंटिन्यूड इन ट्रुथ एंड नॉन वायलेंस थर्ड फोर्थ लास्ट लाइन में
नॉन वायलेंस.
आर द
हाँ.
इसेंस ऑफ ऑल ऑफ देम
ट्रूथ एंड नॉन वायलेंस. वही तो है फर्स्ट अपना.
मेन वही है वाओ लेकिन फिर भी उसकी इतनी सारी वैरायटीज टू इवन थिंक ऑफ और हम मृदु मध्य अधिक मात्रा जैसा भी अपन ने जब ट्राई किया तो वो भी नहीं हो रहा है ठीक से है ना उसकी मृदु मध्य अधिक मात्रा करके प्रतिपक्ष भावना में 81 और 256 टाइप्स का जो है ऐसा सब करके ही है ना
यस.
चलो देखते हैं ये क्या
वेरी.
कहते हैं
Thus, the divine and the demonical qualities are arrayed against each other. We should stick to the divine qualities and shun the demonical ones. Development of the divine qualities like truth and non-violence has been going on since time immemorial. But still there is much to be done. There is unlimited scope for their development in social life. Even if an individual development himself to perfection, scope for development in the social, national and global shapers remain. Individuals have to use their own development to stimulate development in others, just as manure stimulates growth of the crops. We can take in this context the example of the development of non-violence, which has been going on for ages.
यानी परफेक्ट पर्सन के अंदर भी सोशल नेशनल और ग्लोबल लेवल पे इसको डेवलप करना शेष रह जाता है ऐसा बोला है चलो ठीक है देखते हैं
It is worth studying how non-violence has developed progressively. That will show how spirituality has progressively developed in life and how it can develop further. The problem of protection from violent attacks had always been there for the violent man. At first, he devised the idea of having a special class of fighters, the Kshatriyas, for the protection of the society. But later, that class itself turned against the people. The non-violent the non-violent Brahmins then had to tackle the problem of protection from the haughty and insolent Kshatriyas. Parshuram, also non-violent, took to violence and started exterminating Kshatriyas. He restored to violence to make the Kshatriya abandon violence. It was certainly an extreme experiment in non-violence, but it could not succeed. Parshuram is said to have exterminated the Kshatriya 21
एक्सटर्मिनेटेड
times.
यानी एक्सटर्मिनेटेड, सबको खत्म कर दिया.
Exterminated. Still, they survived as the attempt was basically flawed. How can Kshatriya be rooted out when you yourself become a violent Kshatriya?
ये
The
समझा.
seed of हाँ समझ रहा मैं. मतलब परशुराम भी एक यही थे ना, मतलब उनके अंदर भी कितना गुस्सा था.
हाँ, वो क्षत्रियों के अगेंस्ट ही था, क्योंकि क्षत्रिय
हाँ.
अपना उनकी रक्षा करने के बजाय उनके ऊपर अटैक करने लगे.
हम्म.
तो परशुराम ने सौगंध खाई कि मैं ही क्षत्रियों को समाप्त कर दूंगा.
हाँ.
लेकिन क्षत्रियों
बट
को समाप्त करने में वो खुद भी तो क्षत्रिय हो गए ना.
हाँ, वो उनके अंदर
तो
भी
फिर वो
नॉन
कैसे
वायलेंस तो
समाप्त
आया
होता.
ना.
दैट्स व्हाई सेइंग, यानी कि उनकी जो कोशिश थी ये व्यर्थ की गई. ये
यस
उल्टी
यस.
कोशिश थी, सही नहीं थी.
बराबर है. Still, they survived as the attempt was basically flawed.
फ्लॉड.
How can Kshatriya be rooted out when you destroyed? Parshura's intention was good, but his experiment was strange. He was trying to ex- exterminate the Kshatriya by being a Kshatriya himself. In fact, he should have begun by chopping off his own head. I am pointing out the forward nature of Parshuram's experiment, not because I am wiser, I am a child before him, but I am standing on his shoulders and can therefore see much further. And it appears to me that the basis of this experiment was wrong. Restoring to violence to counter violence, this results only in increasing the number of the violent.
है ना, ये
But
तो
this
मालूम
was
ही है
not हाँ,
कि
this was
हिंसा को
not
खत्म करने
realized.
के लिए हिंसा की तो हिंसा कम नहीं होगी, बढ़ेगी.
Yes, yes.
हम्म.
But this was not realized at that time. Good natured and well intentioned people of that time, men of non-violence, experimented. मैं बराबर रीड करूँ ना, experimented.
एक्सपेरिमेंटेड अकॉर्डिंग टू देयर लाइट्स.
Nice. Parshuram was a firm believer in non-violence and he restored to violence not for the sake of it but to establish non-violence.
ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात
The
है.
experiment, the experiment failed. Then came the age of Rama. Brahmins again began to think about the matter. They had already given up violence and had resolved never to commit it, but then how to repel attacks from the demons. They thought that the Kshatriya has anyway taken to violence, so it is better to make them fight the demons. Vishwamitra therefore brought Rama and Lakshmana to protect his yagna from the demons and got the demons destroyed through them. Today we think that non-violence should be able to take care of
itself.
sorry itself. It should not be dependent on others, but sages like Vishwasista and Vishwamitra did not consider it infra to utilize the service of Kshatriya for their protection. But that would have happened had Vishwamitra not found Rama. He would then have preferred to die rather than take up arms.
एक ने
कंपैरिजन
वायलेंस
टू विश्वामित्र और हाँ
वशिष्ठ और
ऐसा
विश्वामित्र ने राम की सहायता ली कि क्षत्रिय का ही काम है, ये क्षत्रिय को ही करने दो। और फिर
यस यस
एक अच्छा क्वेश्चन पूछा उन्होंने कि यदि विश्वामित्र को राम नहीं मिले होते तो क्या
हम्म
करते। तो विश्वामित्र का
बराबर है
जो नॉन वायलेंस के प्रति जो समर्पण था वो ऐसा था कि ही वुड देन हैव प्रिफर्ड टू डाई रादर देन टेक अप आर्म्स।
हम्म
यानी कि वो परशुराम की तरह खुद
हाँ
नहीं उठाते शस्त्र शस्त्र।
बराबर है। वो कंपैरिजन बताया परशुराम और विश्वामित्र और वशिष्ठ
करेक्ट।
का The experiment of fighting violence by violence had been a thing of the past. The resolve to remain personally non-violent was now firm. The non-violent men were now ready to die if they could not get Kshatriya to protect them. In the Ramayana, there is an incident wherein Rama inquiries about the heaps of bones he had seen, and the sages tell him that those were the bones of the non-violent Brahmin who, on being attacked by the demon, embraced death without putting up any resistance. This type of non-violence and the element of sacrifice in it, but there was also an expectation of protection from others. Such weakness cannot lead to perfect non-violence.
ये दूसरा स्वरूप हुआ कि एक तो
Hmm.
पूरा फाइट करना और एक बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना, ये भी ठीक नहीं है।
Yes.
आगे देखिए।
The saint of the medieval
मिडीवियल
times carried
मध्यम
medieval.
काल बोलते हैं ना।
हाँ times carried out of the third experiment, they resolved, now we will never seek protection from others and rely on non-violence itself to protect us. That alone can be the true protection. This experiment was on an individual plan, and on that plan it was carried to perfection but did not have a social dimension. Had people asked the saint what should be done in the face of a violent attack, they would perhaps have failed to give an unequivocal answer. They would perhaps have admitted their inability to give
अनएम्बिगुअस यानी कि
unambiguous
क्लियर, एम्बिगुअस यानी कि धुंधला, अनएम्बिगुअस यानी क्लियर।
guidance to the people in such in even eventuality.
एंचुअलिटी।
Again, in eventuality. Again, it is childish impertinence
पर्टिनेंस।
on my part to blame the saints. But I am telling you what I see standing on their shoulders. These saints should forgive me for my comment, and I am sure that they would as they last-hearted. The thought of collective experiment in non-violence might have crossed their minds, but they must have thought that the situation was not ripe for such experiment. They made different experiments on the individual level only. But as science, after all developments through the synthesis of experiment gained thereby.
ठीक है, अच्छा बैकग्राउंड बनाया.
Now, we are in the midst of the fourth experiment, in which the whole society is engaged in resisting violence through violent means. These are the four experiments is non-violence. All of the earlier experiments were imperfect, and our present experiment too is imperfect. This is but inevitable in the course of evolution, but in the context of their times, the experiments of the past were the best possible one. After thousands of years, our presence non-violence were too would appear to have a larger measure of violence in it. There will be many more experiments in non-violence in future. Not only jnana, karma, and bhakti, but also the virtues have been continually developed. Only the Lord, the Supreme Self, is perfect. None else is. Purushottam Yoga in Gita is perfect, but it is yet to be fully developed in individual and social life. The saying to go on acquiring newer and higher meaning and con-
Connotations.
content.
Connotations.
The sages are considered seers of the mantras,
Seers
not
of the
their
mantras. Seer. एक होता है डूअर, दूसरे होते हैं सीयर्स.
seer, yes, of the mantras, not their authors, are the saw their meaning through a vision. But those are not the exclusive meaning of the mantras. More developed meaning can be seen by us. This is so not because there is something special in us. It is on the basis of their experiments and experiences that we go ahead. I have chosen nonviolence as an example and reviewed its development as it is the essence of all the virtues, and also because we are engaged in a non-violent struggle.
तो 4 स्टेजेस जो बताए वो तो हिस्टोरिकल एक्सपेरिमेंट्स एंड देयर रिजल्ट्स. और ये एक और बात अच्छी लगी मेरे को कि देयर विल बी मेनी मोर एक्सपेरिमेंट्स इन नॉन वायलेंस इन फ्यूचर. और आज के जमाने में जो चल रहा है, इट इज रेजिस्टिंग वायलेंस थ्रू नॉन वायलेंट मीन्स. बिना हिंसा किए हिंसा को रोक सकना, उसका प्रयास होता ही है ना. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि उसमें हिंसा नहीं होती, क्योंकि नॉन वायलेंट मीन्स से भी कुछ ना कुछ हिंसा तो होती ही है. ठीक है.
A great experiment in non-violence, giving up flesh eating. So far, we saw how non-violent men devised ways for protection from violent attacks. This is one aspect of non-violence. We saw how non-violence has been developing in human relationships, characteristics
Characterized.
characterized by conflict and clashes.
Passions.
But there is conflict between the man and the beasts too. Men have still not been able to solve the conflict among themselves, and they are also unable to live without eating the flesh of animals of lower and weaker species. Hanuman, no, sorry, human beings have been around for thousands of years, and still they have not thought about how to live in a way befitting the human being. They are still unable to live like human beings, but change is taking place in this respect as well. In all probability, man in prehistoric times ate roots and fruits only. But it appears that in the course of time, perversity thinking led most of the mankind to take to flesh eating. Good and wise men, however, did not like this and laid down a restriction that if anybody wants to eat meat, he should eat the meat of animals sacrificed in yagnas only. Their intention was to minimize violence. In the course of time, some people completely abjured meat and others who could not do so were permitted to eat it after offering the same to the Lord and undergoing some sacrifice and penance in yagna. Permission for meat eating only in yagna was thus for limiting violence, but this was later misused on a large scale. Performance of yagna just to have an opportunity to eat flesh become quite common. Lord Buddha then came forward and said, eat flesh if you like, but at least do not do so in the name of the Lord.
बिल्कुल सही.
This too was to limit violence and develop self-restraint. Thus, both through yagnas and through their rejection, we learn to abjure meat. In this way, we gradually gave up flesh eating. This great experiment in the history of the world took place only in India. Millions of people become vegetarians. If we are vegetarians today, we can claim no credit for that. We have got used to it because of the merit of our ancestors. We are now surprised and shocked when we hear or read that the sages of yore used to eat flesh. We cannot imagine it. It is creditable that they observe flesh through great efforts in spite of being used to it. We have inherited their virtues without any efforts on our part. The fact that they were not vegetarians and we are so does not mean that we are better. We have been benefited by their experience and vegetarianism has become natural to us. We should now proceed further. We should try the experiment of giving up milk also as it is also in an animal product. It is up unbecoming of man to take the milk of animals. Perhaps our descendants in the distant future will be shocked to learn that their ancestors used to drink milk. They may consider us barbarians. Some of us take a vow not to take milk. Our descendants may fail to understand why we vow was necessary at all. मतलब कि ये मिल्क का तो पहले के जो विनोबा जी के जमाने के टाइम से है, अभी से नहीं है।
हम्म।
तभी से मतलब ये सब चल रहा है मिल्क का। In short, we should go on experimenting with fearlessness and humility. There is ample scope for development. No virtues has yet been developed to perfection.
मेरे को झपकी आ गई।
हाँ बता मुझे, इसके लिए मैं चुप हो गई। मैं बोली सोने दो, सोने दो।
लेकिन इतना अच्छा थॉट था ना, वो जबकि में भी वो थॉट चालू रहा।
हम्म।
द थॉट वाज सो ब्यूटीफुल कि एक्सपेरिमेंट्स ऑन नॉन वायलेंस मस्ट गो ऑन। यानी हमें अपने नए नए तरीके नॉन वायलेंस के ढूंढते ही रहने चाहिए। तो
हम्म।
इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे जो प्रयास हो रहे हैं, जो कि हमेशा से होते आए हैं और अभी भी हो रहे हैं, लेकिन उसका ग्लोबलाइजेशन सोशल लेवल पे, नेशनल लेवल पे और ग्लोबल लेवल के ऊपर जब वो आएगा, तभी वो प्रचलन में आएगा, जो एक्सपेरिमेंट है। तो अपने को
हम्म।
बहुत तीव्रता से नॉन वायलेंस का वीसीटी करना चाहिए ना। तो अपने को अवेयरनेस आएगी और इसको ग्लोबल लेवल पे फैलाना जरूरी है, यानी। माय गॉड। 10 मिनट बाकी है, पढ़
बोलो।
सकते हैं थोड़ा तो?
टाइम है तो आगे करो।
है ना, 10 मिनट है।
हाँ चलेगा।
हाँ।
पढ़।
हाँ, पढ़ते ना।
चलेगा। द थ्री हाँ, द थ्री ऑस्टियल कंडीशंस। asuri asuri means क्या ना?
कुछ गड़बड़ आ रहा है ना साउंड।
हेलो।
3 आसुरिक
हाँ मैं
एम्बिशंस।
पूछा। अच्छा,
पावर,
आसुरिक
कल्चर
एम्बिशन।
एंड
ओके।
वेल्थ।
कल्चर एंड वेल्थ। The Lord has described the demonical qualities too, so that we could keep away from them and concentrate on the development of divine qualities. The essence of the demonical way of life is in three things: power, culture, and wealth. Those with this nature want to impose their culture on the whole world, believing it to be the best. And why it is the best? Because it is they are individuals with this nature and empires built up by such individuals after these three things only. The Brahmins believe that their culture is the best, that all the knowledge is contained in their Vedas. They want hegemony. ये क्या
हेगमनी।
है मैम?
हेगमनी
मीन्स
यानी कि
hegemony.
उसी को सबसे महान बनाने का।
अच्छा।
हेगमनी ऑफ द वैदिक कल्चर इस्टेब्लिश्ड, यानी कि वो ही सब कुछ है, जो भी है वो ही है।
अच्छा, of Vedic culture established over the whole world. अग्रत चतुरो वेदान पृष्ठतः सरंसं धनु। The four Vedas should be in front and the arms should follow them. Is the what they want. But when arms are to follow the Vedas, the poor Vedas are as good
as good
as
as finished.
finished. हाँ, समझा? वो चार चार हाथ के अंदर चार वेद से बताया है ना
हम्म
वो उसमें. Muslims also believe that whatever is written in the Quran alone is true. Christians too believe that truth is contained in the Bible only. They believe that nobody, howsoever noble and virtuous he may be, can ever be written if he did not believe in Jesus Christ. They have provided only one door to the house of the Lord, the door of Jesus. People provide a number of doors and windows of their house. How strange is that they provide only one door to the God's house.
कितना सुंदर बोला. उसके घर
Ah,
में इतने सारे दरवाजे खिड़की होते हैं, भगवान के घर में खाली एक ही रास्ता, एक ही दरवाजा दिया है.
हम्म, हमारा हमारे में जो मंदिर रहता है ना उसको हवेली बोलते हैं. हमारे जो हम जो वैष्णव है ना पुष्टि मार्ग की उसे हवेली बोलते हैं. तो हमारे तरफ जो भगवा हवेली रहता है घर में जरूखा बोलते हैं ना. जरूखा आपको पता है क्या रहता है?
हाँ, विंडोज के जैसे.
जरूखा. हाँ. हाँ, विंडोज जैसा. फिर सीढ़ी भी रहती है ऊपर
देखा है ना मैंने तेरे
जाने
घर
के
पे.
लिए. और हाँ, पलंग भी रहता है,
शयन
ये
घर
सब
है.
रहता है. हाँ, ऐसा सब रहता है. कुलीनची संपन्न माझी जोडी कुठे असे. आय एम ऑफ नोबल लिंजेन. I have all the riches. None can equal me. This this is what everybody thinks. अभी के टाइम में यही चल रहा है ना.
बिल्कुल.
ना यूट्यूब पे आप देखो ना कितने सारे लोग हैं, बाप रे. कितने सारे लोग सब खुद को अपने एक्सपर्ट समझते हैं. आप कुछ भी यूट्यूब पे ओपन करो, है ना, तो सब लोग आ जाते हैं खुद की ऐड लेके. ये बन जाओ, वो बन जाओ, आपके एक दो घंटे दे दो, आपके दो घंटे इसको दे दो, आधा घंटा मुझे दे. कितना ऐड आता है, कितना, मतलब सबको सब एक्सपर्ट है और सब लोगों को एक्सपर्ट बनाना चाहते हैं.
हम्म.
सोचती रहती हूँ कि क्या है?
नहीं, क्योंकि इंडिविजुअल एक्सपेरिमेंट्स चालू है ना. अब उनमें से
हाँ.
इंडिविजुअल में से कौन सा बड़ा मूवमेंट बनेगा जो नेशन वाइड या ग्लोबली एक्सेप्टेबल होगा, दैट विल बिकम द ट्रेंड. लेकिन इंडिविजुअल एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के बिना
बट
कैसे होगा वो मालूम नहीं पड़ेगा ना.
बट बहुत ज्यादा नहीं हो रहा है मैम?
तो तभी तो अति होएगी ना. तब फिर एक उसमें से उभर के जब आएगा, बाकी सारे सब अपने आप डाउन हो जाएंगे.
हम्म.
जब तक फील्ड खुला है तब तक सभी ट्राई तो करेंगे ना. अब मेरे को भी लगता है मेरा
हम्म.
वीसीटी बेस्ट है,
हम्म.
और मुझे बेस्ट नहीं लगेगा तो मैं उसको फैलाने की कोशिश भी नहीं करूंगी. लेकिन यदि वो फैल जाएगा तब तो
बराबर.
जाके प्रूव होएगा कि बेस्ट था. आज के जमाने के लिए वो बेस्ट था.
हम्म.
ऐसा.
बराबर.
बाद में फ्यूचर में और दूसरा एक्सपेरिमेंट होएगा उसके ऊपर.
हम्म. We want to be known as descendants of some or the other great sage or king. This is the case in the West too. There too, people boast of being the des-
डिसेंडेंट्स यानी उनके
descendants
उत्तराधिकारी.
of
नॉन
Norman
नोबल्स.
nobles, etc. We have the Guru Shishya tradition also, wherein people relate themselves to great sages. This is to an attempt to claim greatness for themselves and their culture. But if your culture is really great, let it be reflected in your action. in your conduct. The people are, however, not bothered about that. To inspire, to spread the culture that we do not have in our down life is a demonical way of thinking,
हम्म
asuric way of thinking.
यानी तुम वो चीज को स्प्रेड करना चाहते हो जिसको कि तुमने पूरी तरह से इम्बाइब नहीं किया है, तो ये आसुरी
Hmm.
संपदा हुई।
Yes.
ओके, गुड गुड, वेरी नाइस, बहुत अच्छा समझाया।
Hmm. रख आगे पढ़ू है टाइम?
हाँ, एक दो तो पढ़ ही लेते हैं, 3 मिनट है, 2.5 मिनट
Okay.
है।
In the same way, some people think I am the only one fit to possess all the wealth in the world. I want all that wealth and I shall have it. They claim that they want wealth to distribute it equally among all. Akbar used to feel sincerely that the Rajput kingdom should be incorporated in his empire so that there would be region of peace. Modern demons want to concentrate all the wealth in their hands
Ostensibly
ostensibly to
redistributed,
redistribute.
socialize,
For this,
socialism.
for this basic power, they want concentrate in their hands. They want that their word must prevail. Everybody must follow their dictate. Freedom means obedience to them. That is what they think. Thus, the demonical nature lays stress on culture, power, and wealth.
हम्म, ठीक है, वी कैन पॉज हियर।
यहाँ तक, हाँ यहाँ तक रखते हैं।
कल्चर पावर वेल्थ का टाइटल से शुरू किया था, उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन
हाँ
आ गए।
हाँ।
ग्रेट, गुड गुड गुड। चलो जल्दी ही, मेरा आज
चलो
वो डैशबोर्ड के लिए मीटिंग है, तो शायद मेरा डैशबोर्ड तैयार हो जाएगा तो नेक्स्ट टाइम से मैं मेरा वो नए ऐप का जूम लिंक शेयर कर सकूंगी।
अच्छा।
मेरा
चलो वेरी गुड,
मीटिंग
हो
चल
जाएगा
रहा है
हो
आज।
जाए।
आज
हम्म।
हेल्प मांगा है मैंने उन लोगों से, तो दे हेल्प मी सेट इट अप।
यस यस, कोई बात नहीं। चलो, थैंक यू मैम।
अरे थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा लगा।
हम्म।